Hi, everyone. My name is Paul Yoon. I'm an attorney here at Coast to Coast Legal Aid of South Florida. I am an attorney that works primarily in the family law unit with Coast to Coast. I specifically deal with and represent victims of intimate partner violence. So I'm primarily in the felony and misdemeanor domestic violence courtroom. I also represent victims who are seeking to file petitions or have injunction cases against a respondent based on victimization. Today, we have Miss Jacente McDougall. She is one of the paralegals with our Coast to Coast Legal Aid of South Florida office. And I'm here to interview her about the Family Court Self-Advocacy Program located in the Broward County Courthouse located downtown Fort Lauderdale. Miss McDougall, do you want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Paul, for having me today.
No problem at all. It's our pleasure. And we have some questions for you. So let's get right into it real quick. But well, you know what? Before we do that, let me ask you some questions about you. Let's know about the person we're interviewing a little bit real quick. How long have you been with Coast to Coast Legal Aid of South Florida, Miss McDougall?
I've been with Coast to Coast Legal Aid for a little over 2 years now.
Okay, for a little over 2 years. So let me ask you this. What did you do prior to coming over to Coast to Coast Legal Aid of South Florida?
Prior to Legal Aid, I worked at the Guardian Ad Litem program as a child advocate manager supervisor.
Okay. Now, next question. I'm sure the viewers want to know. I want to know. Okay, we are talking about the Family Court Self-Advocacy Program. What is your role there?
So, my role at the Family Court Self-Advocacy Program office is to assist applicants with the application process who are seeking for assistance with one of our family law attorneys.
Okay, and how long have you been doing that with Coast to Coast Legal Aid at that office?
I've been at the Family Court Self-Advocacy Program office for almost 1 year now.
Okay, all right. So we have some slides here, just if you're watching, it'll help kind of, I always say I'm a visual learner, so maybe this will help you soak it in a little bit once again. This is a Family Court Self-Advocacy Program that's located at the Broward County Courthouse in downtown Fort Lauderdale. And once again, this is part of our family law unit. So we primarily deal with family law issues, and we're going to get into some of those details, and also victims of crime. Okay, so with that being said, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so Ms. McDougall, you mentioned applicants, people coming into that office where you're located. In your experience being there for almost a year, where are these people finding out about or I should say, how are they finding about your office there? Are they coming from court hearings? Are they coming from like the clerk's office or just from the street? Maybe they saw something else. How have you gotten to know some of these applicants and how they're getting there?
Good question. A lot of the applicants that visit the office comes from the family court clerks. I have had a few applicants that have left their domestic violence hearings to come over and try to seek some assistance, as well as other areas in the court.
I see. Okay. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of all this here. So they're coming seeking for some services, right? They got some issues going on. And once again, for those of you who are watching, we're dealing primarily with family law issues. But let me just ask you this. Do people come in for other kind of issues that we don't deal with, generally speaking? Have people come in with all kinds of things that they need help with?
Absolutely. We get people coming in for various reasons. And the good thing about our office is, even though we may not provide that particular service because it is primarily for family law matters, we
Mhm.
are able to refer those applicants to either partner agencies. The office is also located next to 211. So we're able to
Oh.
refer them to different community providers for their assistance.
Okay. So it kind of sounds like almost like a one-stop shop. If we can't help them, we'll find a way that someone else could maybe. Is that what you're kind of saying? That like you can make referrals to other organizations?
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Mhm.
So let's talk about what we do specifically. So we're going to get into some details here. For those of you who are watching, once again, I have a little PowerPoint. You can see here some of the services that we provide. Number one, injunctions for protection. restraining orders, more commonly known as, or protective orders. And there's legally 5 different kinds here: domestic violence, dating violence, sexual violence, stalking, repeat violence. We also, our unit deals with, or helps, I should say, dissolution of marriage, otherwise commonly known as divorce cases, paternity matters, assertion and enforcement of victims' rights in criminal cases. And that's kind of what I do specifically. And generally speaking, holistic legal services for survivors of human trafficking, intimate partner violence, and elder abuse. Okay, so Ms. McDougal, somebody, like you said, maybe coming from a court hearing, someone's coming from the clerk's office, they're coming to you for some assistance. Generally, I think I heard you say maybe it deals with like documents, pleadings, things like that. Is that what they first come in with to ask you some questions about?
Yes, sir. A lot of times we have applicants that come directly from the clerk's office and they want assurance that the documents that they're filing, whether they're trying to file an answer or to petition, file a petition to initiate a case, they want to make sure that they're filing the correct documents. I personally am not an attorney, so I'm not able to provide them with
Oh.
that guidance. However, once we go through the application process, if an applicant is eligible, then they will be referred to speak with one of our family law attorneys.
I think that's a good little segue to go to our next slide here, because that's something ready. Well, actually, it's not a good segue. Let's first tell people how to get there if they want to find your office. Okay, so this slide shows you kind of, so I want to kind of, obviously Ms. McDougal and I are in the courthouse very often. I can tell you, when you come out of the elevator on the 4th floor, what you're going to see towards your left, you can't go right, you're going to go left. And you're going to see this sign that you see on the slide there, floor 4, with the different offices there. Once again, which number is your office specifically, Ms. McDougal?
The office where I bring applicants to speak with them individually is in room 4101.
Okay.
However, we do have a waiting room area where applicants are asked to go sign in so that I'm able to give the applicant that's in front of me the one-on-one and confidential attention to be able to ask, some of the questions that goes for our application process.
You mentioned a very important word I think that everybody should have some confidence in: confidentiality, right? So when someone comes in there, is there, so, I mean, I guess I'll ask this question. There's no one else in that room, just you and the applicant?
Yes, just the applicant and myself are allowed to be in the room at the time where we're doing intake.
What if they have a minor child or someone that they have to bring with them? Have you dealt with that situation as well?
I have. For a minor child, the minor child may be allowed to come into the interview room. However, another adult or teen are asked to wait in the waiting room area. And I do have things there to occupy minors when they are present.
Okay, okay. So once again, 4th floor, everybody, see the sign there. Now, if you don't have, let's say the elevators aren't working. That happens, trust me. There's escalators that actually get all the way up to the 4th floor. If you look at that photograph, that's what you see on the left-hand side. What you're going to do is come up to the top floor, obviously, and instead of, and you're going to go straight and you're going to go to the left. And you'll see kind of, I think the first sign you may see is a restroom sign, believe it or not, but it's that little hallway where you'll find the Family Court Self-Advocacy Program office. Now,
yes,
the slide that I was referring to is this one here. So here, ladies and gentlemen, is a little overview here of what Ms. McDougal was kind of hinting at here. Okay, so our paralegals, meaning in this situation, Ms. McDougal, meet with people at the courthouse and complete an application with them. We provide applicants with general information, guidance, and referrals. Now, let me ask you this. They come in, they have a document that, a pleading. Let's say someone wants to come in and file an injunction. My understanding of that situation is they have to file something called a petition with their allegations and information, correct? Is that how you know it as well?
that is correct.
Okay, so then they say, okay, I got this petition, I'm going to submit it, but I need help. I need to talk to a lawyer. I need someone to, because I've never done this before. How do you guide them in that situation? What do you do, Ms. McDougal?
Sure. So they would still go through the general screening process that I perform, which we refer to as the intake process for our office.
Okay.
Should an applicant have already filed their petition for injunction, I do like to obtain copies of that information so that I can send it to our attorneys to review.
Okay. So I guess that includes me, right? Some of these reports that,
Yes.
yeah, right. I know I've seen a ton of them. I know it's a busy office. Trust me, I do. And there's a lot of people that stop by there. Okay. So let's say someone comes in there. What about a divorce? Is it the same procedure for a divorce or paternity matter? Uh, Even victims' rights assistance in criminal cases? Is that pretty much what you go through with each of them?
Pretty much it is the same thing. They will go through the same exact general screening process.
Mhm.
However, if they have an existing case and maybe they've been served with the documents such as a petition for dissolution of marriage, those are a document that I would also like to screen and send to scan and send to
Ah,
our attorneys to be able to
yeah.
review. Should the person, based on my initial screening, be eligible to speak with one of our family law attorneys, I would like to obtain a copy of those documents that the person has. And then
Mhm.
also, we have our documents that that applicant would need to complete, one of which is a limited retainer agreement that
Okay.
applicants, before they get referred over for review.
Okay. Let
Mhm.
me say this as one of the attorneys that do receive the referrals from the Family Court Self-Advocacy Program. Bring your documents with you because it's very difficult for us attorneys, even if you have the assistance of Ms. McDougall, if you don't have the documents, for example, a petition for injunction, a petition for divorce, paternity papers that you were served with, anything like that, even for criminal cases, maybe a notice of hearing. It's very difficult for us attorneys back in the home office to review and evaluate the case to see if we can provide some services. Without those documents, petitions, paperwork, notice of hearings, things like that, very difficult. And I'm sure, Miss McDougall, have you told people before, hey, I mean, I'll do the best I can, but without these documents, I don't know what the attorneys are going to be able to do for you.
Yes, I have. I've been put in those positions where someone would come, and apply for assistance and not have those documents. However, those particular applicants are given information so that they can send it over, so that when I do send their information for review by the attorneys, it'll be a
Mhm.
complete file.
So it won't be a dead end if they don't have them, but it will be helpful if they did have them.
Yes, we definitely want, and try our best to make sure that no one leaves empty-handed. So I want to make sure that their visit doesn't feel like a waste of their time, but that we're
Sure.
able to provide some sort of assistance to that applicant. So if it's, they don't have the documents, we will follow up with them.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so our next little slide here. Okay, so people should know, okay, we have this office. What are your hours over there at the fourth floor of the Broward County Courthouse, Miss McDougall?
Sure. Currently, our office hours are Monday through Friday from 9 a. I'm sorry, Monday through Wednesday from 9 a.m. until 12 noon. However, applicants still can apply online 24 hours a day, and we do have a centralized intake unit that reviews those applications and follow up with the applicants. And then they can also call our intake line until 3 p.m. Monday through
So
Friday.
I think what needs to be said here real quick is if you are watching this and you need help with some of these services that we provide, and I'm going to go to another slide here. Well, let me just do a little plug here, just in case you need to go back and watch this video or anything else that's from our office. We do have the YouTube website where you can go to Coast Legal in South Florida on YouTube and watch any of our guiding videos such as this one about the Family Court Self-Help Center, anything else, any other services that we provide. Okay, so if you're seeking services with our office, you don't need to come to the fourth floor of the courthouse, right, Ms. McDougall, right?
That
So
is
that's kind
correct.
of a convenience for those that are already there. Is that fair
Mhm.
to say? Okay. So if you're at the courthouse, filing some documents and need some assistance or guidance, head up to the fourth floor. Look for those on those hours, 9 to 12, and look for Miss McDougall. Like she said, if she's got someone in that room, it's got to remain confidential. So you may not be able to get in there, but there's a waiting room and a sign-in sheet. Please be patient, and we will help you. Like Miss McDougall said, you ain't gonna leave empty-handed. Okay. Now, for those of you who are not at the courthouse, please visit our website, Coast to Coast Legal Aid of South Florida, as you can see there. What we have highlighted, kind of circled in green, apply online for legal services. We have online application process for all of our units here at Coast to Coast Legal Aid. That's our family law unit, a senior law unit, and our each unit. And what I'll show you here on our next slide. Here they are, our Family Law and Victims of Crime Unit, the Senior Elder Law Unit, and the Economic Advocacy and Community Health Unit. We call that EACH, E-A-C-H. And here's some of the services they provide. Once again, you can always refer back to our YouTube page to see this presentation again. And lastly, just real quick here, we have some social media out there, of course. We want to make ourselves as accessible as possible, not only physically, such as Ms. McDougall at the fourth floor of the Broward County Courthouse. That's a great little nook up there if you're in the courthouse, you need help, but through social media, Facebook, Instagram. I believe we have the Twitter account as well. Our general contact information as well is there with the QR code for you to click on if you'd like. We want our services throughout Broward County, all four corners. If you need assistance with what we have here, please contact us. Once again, if you're at the courthouse, look for Ms. Jacente McDougall. She is on the fourth floor, ready to help, ready to provide any guidance that she can. And let me ask you this. Have you had some folks, let's say, that you met on the fourth floor, you make the referral, all of a sudden you're back at the office, and then boom, we're representing them. You've dealt with that, I'm sure. A lot of people come through like, oh, I remember this person, the application went through. A lot of success stories, Ms. McDougall.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, like she said, you're not going to leave empty-handed if you stop by that fourth floor, if you're in the courthouse, everyone. If any services, stop by there. I want to say thank you, Ms. McDougall, for doing this with us, taking your time out of your busy day to let folks know how they can get legal help through our office in your at the Family Court Self-Advocacy Program Center on the fourth floor. If you want to say bye, here's your opportunity to everyone.
Hi, Paul. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm looking forward to meeting anyone who would like to apply for assistance.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.